Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to our continuation of the Great Ace Attorney Articles 1. All right. Yeah, we're back in action on episode 5. The Unspeakable Story. Oh boy. Let's see where the game will take us today. The Hound of the Baskerville? Baskerville?
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast.
What's good, Captain Drew? What's good, Allie? What's good, Trader? Love you all so much.
This
Hope
is
you're
the
doing well tonight. Hi,
diabolical
Keeper.
Hound of the Baskervilles.
The Baskervilles. Tylenol, I love you too. How are you doing tonight? Oh my gosh, what's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. Tylenol, are you playing the new Nickelodeon game, the All-Star Brawl game? Curious as a former Smash player, or not former Smash player, but as a long-time Smash player.
Something's
How you doing?
biting.
Oh my goodness. Hey, that's valid. Who needs a girlfriend when you can just watch my stream? What the heck? Allie, thank you for gifting subs to Tylenol. Holy crap. Tylenol, welcome back to the Sarah Squad. Good to have you here. And Trader,
Faker.
welcome
I
back to the
think
Sarah
you're the
Squad.
fake
Good to have you
hedgehog
here. What the
around
heck, Allie? It's good to have you two here. And Allie, thanks again for getting another sub. This time to Captain Dread. Captain Dread, welcome to the Sarah Squad. It's so good to have you with us. Hope you enjoyed the sub badge emotes and all sorts of shenanigans. Welcome and thank you, Allie. That was very nice of you. Drink water. I'm trying to get this episode started. And all the YouTube people are probably like, Seraphim, shut up and start playing the dang game. Here I am having all this content happening in my Twitch chat. Holy heckaroni. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate you a lot. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. Which was partly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So, life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. So 2 months have passed since the 4th case. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Knock, knock, knock. Ooh, nice place you guys got going on here. All right, all right. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Suzawa-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Suzawa-san? Yes. Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly me. I think Iris said that she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. Ahem. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. I suppose Saseki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Saseki-san had he stayed in London? That's all. You mean, as regards Lord Van Zieks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. The Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Whoa, that's right. I like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Spooky stuff, man. But yes, those of you in Twitch chat, I do hope you're doing well tonight. You are all fantastic, and I care about you a lot. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Saseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps. Even if that's the case, it's a little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is believed, it would mean he wields a sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Van Zieks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yeah, since Saseki-san's trial, he was withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before. And he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spat of trials then? Ugh, just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing, never mind. It's almost like it was a test. Intentional. Intentional that the Reaper appeared in court? Something to do with Asogi? Our good friend Asogi-san? Kazuma? Well, I suppose we better go eat some breakfast. Morning, Runo. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris? What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Ah, yes, you noticed that, did you? Early isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Uh-oh. Hello. What's wrong with Herlock? This is very abnormal. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. Oh, he looks so sad. Good morning to die, perhaps. Oh no, what happened? Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Kitty! Oh look, it's Wagahai? Wagahi? Wagahai? Good morning, boy. Meow. Aww, what a cute cat. How did the cat get it there? What if Mr. Holmes just has cat allergies? Well then everyone, time for breakfast! Oh, wonderful, let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I need something to look different. Yeah, where's his machine? Well, you seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? Used to be the case that in my hands, this violent sun like the dawn chorus, its melissonant tones would make the flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have abode, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored, to no avail. That sound, my tone is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled emotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you. And don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back. Sorry, I thought he was speaking. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man. The next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Ah, why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have with the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Susato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You struggle not to notice what... You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windibanks now. Sorry? It's at Windy Bank? No, Windibanks, the pawnbrokery. On what? You pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see, quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I would gladly pass what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? As it's not ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh? Okay, how does it work? What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? The people of London pawnbrokers are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. Then on Saturdays, they go and recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not where, obviously, but the pawn. Should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whatever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windibanks, you see? A pawnbroker can be the thought of an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Mr. Natsumi's cat seems to have settled to his new home then. Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy. It appears previous owner has completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews as empty as the hearts of the muses. Aww. The message sent Natsumi had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan. I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could, but pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. It's true. I don't mind because Waggy is adorable. Meow. Aw, so precious. Yes, he really is. Oh yes, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you notice? You are observant, Runo. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the Cat Flapomat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And you can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one of us in the dorm of our office upstairs, Iris. I really know how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Heh. Oh no, what was that? Wagahai? Uh-oh. What was that? Oh no, Wagahai's tangled up in your violin! I think he thinks it's a toy! No! Oh dear, Mr. Shulman's precious violin. Oh, why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. The cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Shulman really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Oh no. Let's see. TTT. Hospitality. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. Doesn't really look anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I ever made. I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music, to tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none! Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. Looks very different to normal, don't you? Hmm? Whoa, what do you mean? There's a broken... Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. That's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Wait, did someone steal their... I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but an instrument isn't a violin at all. What? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. What? Mr. Sholmes, are you all right? You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my favorite Stradivari. Someone stole his violin. What, pray, is this piece of strained flotsam? Not your favorite performing partner, then. Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris? This is just a simple mix-up. Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Oh my gosh. Is Sholmes sad because his instrument doesn't sound good, but he actually just doesn't have his actual instrument? What do you mean to buy a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this violin, viola, I mean, was at Windibanks until last week. At the pawnbrokers, not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea. Last week, I pawned my great antelescope in order to release my precious instrument, but it would appear Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with this tawny fiddle instead. My ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timber of this piece of the timber. No, but your very sense was deceived by the fact that it just said strings. Pshaw, a fine state of affairs this is. And why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker, they will try to fill you every time. Earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Dilly-dally will get you nowhere. Sorry. Crunching your toes with that vacant aspect. Freshing your cover so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced? Sholmes is back. We must pay Mr. Windibank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Mr. Zato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect to fresh your eggs even more obtusely. All right, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker looks like. Sholmes is back. All right, we'll go to Baker Street first. Whoa. Look at all the different things in the window of the shop. Ah, that's Windibank's. The pawnbrokery. It looks much smarter than a pawnbroker in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable, personally. Reminds me of tearfully parting away with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, it's been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here at Mr. Sholmes' office. Still can't quite believe it. I never expected things to turn out like this. Oh, I know. To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective? If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about. But I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Oh, man. Alright. I got a feeling we're going to be coming back here later. For now, let's go here. Winda Banks Pawnbrokery. Jeepers. There's a lot of crap in here. So this is a British pawnbrokery? Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions here that I've never laid eyes on before. Oh, it's just son. That spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Clearly, Mr. Sholmes means business to judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We're disgruntled customers, Mr. Narhood, and it's time to inform Mr. Whitbank of our hire. Come! The fight is afoot! Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my favorite instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wooden instrument that holds it, it's not even the same size. Wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me and inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There is only one way to make amends. I shall have to take my own life. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole to that. What might I just say one before I pop off? Yes. It was you, Sir Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the store with a fetcher finally when I heard, here it is. You did? And when I turned to controver you, you had taken the fuel and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So should I grumble and grouse no longer? Wait, you'll die with me! No, stop, my dear fellow, this fault is mine! Dear Lord. Phew. It appears that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of this peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past. Oh, peculiar items? In the extreme, madam, for example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or some such. Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? Unpublished? A story I've yet to read, you mean? Forgive me! Wait before you die! You... Susanoo, I think convincing the man not to murder himself would be a more important thing than knowing the story. I must know more. Tell me everything. Oh, Susanoo's really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, I wonder if the gentleman here brought it in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank. For chests like that, 1 shilling, sir, not a farthing more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounted the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I'm confident it will be quite safe here. That was that. That's such Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? I sense that something doesn't want to talk about this. I continue to pay your fee, do I not? And kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. There's even with me, I assure you, on my life. Okay, he definitely does not like something in it that Iris wrote. This is very strange. Wonder, can I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha, but for your splendid attire, ma'am, 5 guineas, no less. Clothes are exquisite and exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say. Oh, my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I prize their items and offer them a proportionate loan in 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. What happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then? That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the recompense for me is to end it all! The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man was telling himself it was a good day to die this morning. True. Let's not forget that I've already helped to take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. What sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Winterbank has installed in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank? Ah, what was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are 2 just below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be cameras attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. Every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I could show you. Ah yes, a printer from the camera is set to record the activity of the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image, even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look! So you see, we're summoned to enter the premise with ill intent. His identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. And what if the incident were to occur in between times? One can only say, that would be a cruel twist of fate. Must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress as of late. Beg your pardon, Mr. Winterbank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not 1 but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price of ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbroker, you know? My dear fellows, we verge on an age of safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you try to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. If you're not, sorry. I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last! Look at this. What could this lovely big shiny box be? That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have seen such things in your own country. Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. Shall we listen a while? Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety commonly found in the public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed. Though the popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course. Ah, science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. What an assortment of things here on these shelves. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. Those are forfeited items offered by sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? Would you part I colloquially pop it out of the baker? The broker loans you money against its worth. He sells the item for an agreed upon time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in the shop for sale at the price of his choosing. Oh yes, now you've explained, I'm noticing the little price tags on everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn the black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. There seems to be a little door in behind the curtain there. That leads to the storage room where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. Ah, I see. There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommend it or not, it's not something I tend to do. There's but one key, Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot which he slides under his pillow. How on earth do you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder. And the prime suspect that this pawnbroker has ever burglared. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there. Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought to pilfer in an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belly in this portly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd blow his brains out? Indeed, he'd recompense for his blunder. Oh my. But in any case, of course, we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? Seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope. A stereoscope? It's fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepiece and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Alright then, I'm gonna try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see at once! Alright then. Need to be cross-eyed like I'm trying to look at my own nose. What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you can reach out and touch it. Yes, a sense of death is startling, is it not? Stitch comes to one of London's many fads. They are often found in the stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. That looks like one of the jury members. One of the cases. Why are people meddling with such black magic? Oh, it's not magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. That's I can't easily better see it. 15th April, today's date. Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern style page a day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear out the front page and reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank. Who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period is passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see, so I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh, yes. I can see you're very dedicated to your job. Look at this. Whatever could it be used for? I have no idea. There's a small catch just here. Look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism. Which is never going to manage to put back the way it was before. What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing? No, nothing at all. Whatever the devices, it seems there's a pair of little windows to look through. Also, I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Well, only 2 minutes for it. This ain't fair, and you know it. The only goes really worth the penny, miss. I cannot offer more. There's like an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you ever had a proper butcher's at it? I've seen all I need, young girl. Oh, no. Don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her. Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGillis' trial 2 months ago. Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chance to earn her crust among large crowds. Leaving people with the purpose. What's coming known up as pickpocket. Gordon Bennett, you lot! Wait, where'd you get that hell? Oh, Miss Lestrade, I hope you've been well. Eh? What? You remember me then, do you? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us. Nothing to eat. Come to pop that black weasel. Sorry, coat, have you? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day. Unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? And I'm going to see the article, and I should negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf. Oh, the other one. I don't need help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on. I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence. Yeah, he's gone. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What's the thing in his hand? What kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade. Let's pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Wow, Susanna's like a really stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well, I am, all right. I'm a Londoner just like everyone else. That a problem, is it? No, not at all. Just that, well... Oh, I'll get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to us. Probably got on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your chafing fig chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. I'm not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright, then I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. suppose. Sometimes. You're not gonna deny it either, Miss Lestrade. But not this time, alright? I swear that thing belongs to me. A disc that Mr. Winterbank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. I suppose if you're a pickpocket and you give something in for a loan and then just never get it because it's not yours, it's actually kind of a clever way to do it. What is this metal disc? Seems to have hundreds of little bumps in the surface. This is a music disc, you see. Or used inside a music box. In a music box? What? You don't even know what a music box is? So you need some language savvy, eh? I know what a music box is, I've just never seen one of these discs before. Small partitions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played on the music box. You simply enter the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays. So incredible. Tell us what tune is on this disc. Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for. Ah, I see. And that's it in a nutshell. I won't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny. That's a packet of lies he told me. Did he say it was, Will? He, who? Never you mind, it just ain't right, that's all. That disc worth's good money, I know it is. You stole it. Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you? Ah! He's been in here before, of course, his little tattered Demalion. I see. Brought some dubious article or others with her every single time, I might add. Dubious? What you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, man. So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean? What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. A storage ticket? So, Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what needs stolen. Yeah, that's definitely dubious. The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest, I was obliged to return the article to her. What was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank. Those scamps wearing it, ma'am. Probably the jacket. It's the overcoat that she redeemed. Oh. Whoa, what's wrong with that fit, though? It's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How does that come into all this? The disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree a price. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today. It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say. This heavy black coat which you returned to her care, as I've understood it. That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went right through the pockets. You mean... What do you not understand, lady? Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? You mean this disc? Then yes, exactly, ma'am. She immediately tried to pawn it? At quite a high price as well. Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Mr. Strong, may I ask you who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me. It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me old man, it's me old man's, ain't it? Is it, Miss Lestrade? This isn't suspicious. Out of my way, please. Whoa. Oh, is this picture postcard English gentleman? Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen. What's your problem, eh? There is no problem as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you tend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. Think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Well, you are an imprudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket. Hey? Who are you? How do you know who I am? Question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems. What? You mean, from you? Broca. Yes, sir? I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, know? Yes, the article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. Oh, my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you rascal, and needless to say. Any music box disc too. No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me, old man's, or it was, now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation. Yes, I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. I'm really confused why this has any relevance to the plot of the game. Mr. Stroud, what is the gentleman is saying? What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously, I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? I think you brought it in here just now. No, I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business. This little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. And robbed yet again, I thought to myself, those wretched pickpockets. Yet again. Oh, yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these black scum scoundrels. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Grr. Come along now, Mr. Strike. Give the good gentleman his coat back. You're gonna cause trouble, so don't just get to call the police. Oh, don't want everyone think it's me. Look at this dandy cove. And you think he's the dodgy one? Or I'm the dodgy one? Sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's the evidence that I've stolen something there? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? Evidence that the article Mr. Star redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman? Of course, we need only consult Mr. Winterbeck's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look at the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Brilliant! I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh? I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. Why not? Well, now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir. Why to trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Of course. It's Professor. Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. The gentleman is the rightful owner of the article without doubt. The watchword? Interesting. About these watchwords, Mr. Winterbank, as I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all. Yeah, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. A data deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. If then someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir, yes. Well, then why does she have the coat on? I supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat deposited 2 months ago on February 15th. The watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But how? Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt. Ugh. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. But clearly you're not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Sorry, yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Its inhabitants lived on some fiery brown-colored soup dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. What was that jest? What was that theatrical jest? Perhaps if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring after the name of another? Of course, yes, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer, well, student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict. And Shant. He's refining how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Now to the matter at hand. My overcoat, return it at once to someone with a style to carry it off. Every move he makes, every breath he takes. I can't stand watching him. So, let that be the end of the matter. Thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just because I'm a dive, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. The contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. Of course, sir, here's a disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir. I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another disc. Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutsudin, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says you, I don't know nothing about it. Very well. I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes. There's blood on the disc. Look at all these sharp little bumps. He must have scratched his finger on them. Oh, found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me, old man, so you're not having it. Or you, take it. Me? Fine on without having me off again. You keep all of it. Mrs. Strahd, why is this so important to her? You there in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grubs are all liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? Sholmes, help me. Mr. Sholmes, what are you examining with such keen interest there? As you drink a bar of caramel, I see. So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After the young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Clearly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolated place. Whilst the shrewdly observed gnawing on the only friend I have left, a 7% solution of caramel. Pray you couldn't understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo, but how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately alone. Why aren't you just rejoining the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Brother, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you solved the entire case once again. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for? Seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. Who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Mr. Stroud and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Listen to the deduction. That's right, you're in a predicament. What the blaze have you been, eh? Pardon? Well, ladies in trouble, aren't you gents supposed to be the help? Straight away! Not an hour later. Harsh. Who, Portel, are you? Mr. Edgar Benedict, you have, in my eyes, a veritable encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon? The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. Considerable crime is in the contemplation. One you state with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He just turns what is a hard-boiled egg. But it seemed that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Who do you think you are, sir? Yes, as I hoped. This is precisely the pain expression I was looking for. So, shall we begin? Sherlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. First of all, we must ask ourselves what business you ventured in this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. That is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that what you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place? The staff recruitment flyer. Piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement for this very shop. Even the most unobservant would soon realize that you've been a man of your peers and no need of such employ. In other words, there's some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane which you unwittingly clutched in your position exhibited an incontrovertible contradiction. What positive rot? I've had this cane for years. The contradiction which you speak of is the missing fur rule. And a manual walking cane would be terminated with the mental fear to protect the wooden tip. And yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of the stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Something wrong? And then you recoil, and you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this roddy bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you didn't know like to conceal the key. Excuse me. the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What, walking against demands such a stout handle by amused eye? But of course, as I said, there is no walking cane. No, that rod. Is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now I'm determined there's undeniable through the conclusions to clear your true motive for coming here. Was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. The calculated crime you can see, sir. Look at the calculated crime. Okay. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. We must expose the details of the elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save it as a fanciful theory. What possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there's ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Your further answers more than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate shelters to completely dig beneath its floor. The answer is real. Well, the council knows the council with which you are inadvertently drawn. This simply gives notice to public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath the shop runs a sewer that adjoins another one that runs to the bank of the opposite side of the road. This has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath their feet, we gain access to the waterway. That flows in very close proximity to the great fault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of your underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to the last and final chapter's Lewd scheme. Will the plunder did the thief hope to make off in the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. What's up, S-Grunt? Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture of postcards is all we need to know. Postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently, the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibit will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds are currently sitting in the vault of the bank. On the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank. The special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition, of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. That concludes Herlock shows a great deduction of the pawnbroking puzzle. Jeepers. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruto, an impressively upbeat deduction for Detective Rat with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what was in its fault? Indeed. Though few know of his existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There could be but one explanation for that. Clearly, it is because the man is a criminal. What if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Winterbank will. He already has plenty of shovels here, after all. On my life, I assure you I am not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One could never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps you'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. Excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. Ha ha ha. Oh, Herlock. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. Rather than let us start once more from the beginning. Now, Herlock Sholmes, magnificent logic and reasoning, spectacular. Alright, sorry I'm so tired tonight. First of all, we must ask ourselves... Oh, wait. I'm not going to reread it. Oh, snap. By Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came in order to apply for a job so he could dig somehow through the floor. In an attempt to tunnel into the sewers, he gained access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lied elsewhere. Question is where? What did Mr. Benedict... What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Oh. Look at the scribbled notes in the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness, there's even a sketch of her and all. Although if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. The details of the shop have been written down here too. Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street. Redemption deadline, 15th April. Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. He is a thief. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow, it would appear that the writing on the sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket, Miss Lestrade, and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that serves as a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawnbrokery, and today, redemption deadline of that overcoat. So you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. You have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is something ulterior motive for your actions. That cane which you come and literally clutched in person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utterly rot! I have had this cane for years. Contradiction which I speak of is, of course, missing fur. Oh. What's a fur rule? It's a metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, the bit that makes a nice clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly, and Mr. Sholmes was right. It appears to be missing on this cane. Doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Look here, Miss Susato. There are some letters on the handle. Ah, yes. Those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with their first letters of their names. The Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this can obviously... Oh. AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right?
Take that!
The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Edgar Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are E.B. You guys are the most possessive matter you have in your grasp. A cane bearer and the initials A.G. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't. You said before that you'd had that cane for years. So don't tell us you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. What was that? That sounded like a rip. You recall you inadvertently facilitated the answer in your next turn to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod, you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you evidently conceal, or the hand which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understand this riddle. See, let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Mr. Stride reviewed the fine-looking overcoat. Now, a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name. Even that the overcoat belongs to him. We know that he actually identified Mr. Stride from a written description, which suggests that everything he told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. The seam of the shoulder there is coming apart. Look. So it is. You know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. I think it was probably the sound of this seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. These are stretched to bursting when you wouldn't have a hope of fastening it to the front. If you were to run around with it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. Sorry? How come Mr. Benedict run around? He's really giving this some thought.
Take that!
A split scene which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused in the onset. When you so boldly lied up about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket, this catalog of untruths is all fallible for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the younger girl has redeemed Mr. Winterbank. What really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been contributed. Mr. Benedict, let us continue. Very much expect that you did an elaborate crime. Excuse me. You suggest a gentleman in a wheeze, some tawdry article of pawnage. Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly have known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? With the watch, it could be discovered. As you're only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your further glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Well, let's consider how one might look into a secret watch relating to the pawn property of another. Review by the council note. Okay. Chill out. Direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yeah, no more talk about tunneling into the sewers. Pity. Sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know the word, Mr. Winterbank would never allow you to redeem the article. Or looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Winterbank would allow you to redeem the article, whether it was yours or not. The question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Look at this, Mr. Zotto. It appears to be a memo that Mr. Bang has scribbled himself. Let's see. What does it say? Professor. Mr. Winnebago must make a note for the watch words his customers get right before their eyes. Alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see.
Take that!
Blam! The method is revealed by the note let on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response other than the note that he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing else of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present at the shop before your accusation against Mr. Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Winterbank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword he has as his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the knob. Not beside the ledger. And that was the master plan he devised to steal the pawn article from the young Mr. Strahd. Master plan. Which brings us at last to the final chapter, the Lord scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem the particular article from the pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. Naturally, you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. Picture postcard. Articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that were in one of the pockets. According to Mr. Winterbank, it isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man was such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps you already have the evidence you need to explain to Mr. Naruhodo. Could we? Really? Better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far. Little bosses are so tiny. Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the cone to make notes. On the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yeah, it's the blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert Benedict. When Mr. Strahd tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. And when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger. Ouch! Just thinking about it hurts. Must be off eating radish. This is insane. A little scrap stuck to the reserve of the disc and a scribbled word or two. Looks like somebody's name. Or McGilded? McGilded? It couldn't be. It is Mr. Naruhodo, a name I shall never forget for as long as I live. Why? Why is his name on this? I wondered if he was somehow related to Mr. McGilded.
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for McGilded. Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances of the Old 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his low-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature, in fact. He was precisely the right size of that overcoat that you squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Oh my gosh. There must be a message on that disc. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGillen, not the name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Miss Uzado. Well, according to what Mr. Winterbank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Today is the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today would have been 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests 15th of February, the day in which the omnibus murder took place. 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However, I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in the box. What do I do? I'm gonna stand my ground. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. It will be one of those things. Then again, maybe not. Mr. Winterbank, this is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Winterbank, no! All right, that's enough. Inspector Gregson? Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our detected emergency lines. So we got as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forwarding my own life in my own very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Mr. McGilded was here at 10:30 p.m. on the night of the crime. Right, you alone have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty aggery bargy. Petty? Mr. Winterbank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh, dear. And the whole Britain could meet with its end. If I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter. It's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer 2, sir! There's been a spat of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so he fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Yes? I'll be taking that, whatever it is, to McGillen's down to the yard. Thank you very much. Hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is, mine. Sorry, miss. Anything belonging to McGillen has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Grr. So Mr. McGill deposited his quote at 10:30 p.m. on the night in which events occurred. 10:30 p.m. 10:30 p.m. We handed Mr. McGillen's disc over to Inspector Gregson and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the streets. Very suspicious. I suppose someone's trying to cover up Mr. McGilded. Interesting. Very interesting. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Mrs. Stride? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? Well, oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it after I looked daggers at him long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it before to tell me to scrap her. Always pays off getting people to look at him. Can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really want was that nice shiny disc, mind. Music box disc? Mr. Winterbeck said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another batch. Give him a long, hard stare. Think not, Mr. Straw. We shan't enter Winterbecks again today. Why not? That's not fair. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank. Well, that disc mine. I had to take it for this coat, and it was in the coat's pocket. There should be something else and all. That's what that wrong coat said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well, then that's mine too. Whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Mr. Straw, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Shelms. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Huh? Irish will be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No, Ta. Oh? What would I come around your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? Oh, dear. She's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering. Perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. This is all very interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. One more thing, I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry. I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting! What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later then. Apparently, it's a telegram that really seems to be the difference maker. Ah, Susie, Bruno, come in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh, yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. Hehe, you'll never guess. Look at those eyes of her shining. Oh dear, is it awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news! Iris seems overjoyed at that idea. Can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Wait. Oh, that sounds like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Holmes up to? Really? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Shums. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry, I don't know who you are, but can I take your leave? As you can see, I'm not here. I do apologize if he gets like this. He's completely oblivious to everything. Yeah, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, really does. Mr. Shums and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yeah, except Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Shums? You're wondering, am I right? How did you... Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Okay. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilty case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. Now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chased her down in the back alleys. Interesting idea, Fresh. Then I let her have the latest color smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she came over last. I'm so excited. Hope she does actually come. So you've been wondering, why is it that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mommy passed away when I was born, and at around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mystery cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries, and that's what's in the metal chest over there. He recorded them all? So you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh, yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father. Exactly! Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest. That only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? Nearly fell out of his chair. Then he told me that's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. Cyrus's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, must have done. Wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouth sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh, no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. I see. The other day was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. Hi, if you're gonna do this again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That should prompt me to study and study so that I can earn a doctorate as well. Iris' father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson? The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh! I forgot. Holy dude. Wow. The visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yubi University and the man who in the most bizarre circumstances lost his life just before you left Japan. Miss Susato. Yes, perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Frick, dude. I didn't make that connection. I should have made that connection for some reason. I don't know why I didn't. Wow. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you. Maybe I'm like Mr. Sholmes. I just forget everything once I figure stuff out. Whatever, did you make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Never mind that now. I had something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, there's another disc. The music box disc. No, not another disc, Mr. Zato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. What? He would take it, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's see the message. Oh my. Then what is it doing here? You know at times, Mr. Naruhodo. I think that though I have an undeniable term for detection. And maybe we will even more larceny. Ooh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. Reno could be a go-to if we ever got caught. Right. I don't know, Captain Dread. I don't know. I would notice that too, though. I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Also, Captain Dread, do be careful with comments like that, because it could very easily be that he actually doesn't have the first disc, but he has the one that was never found. So the one that has the red splotch could still be actually with Scotland Yard right now. So be very careful with statements like that. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows. Pass my back when the good detective confiscated the disc. I'll be taking on whatever it is of McGill's under the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand some of his evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. The briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like... That's amazing! Disc in the... Oh my gosh, dude. Gregson's gonna be so pissed. This is actually hilarious. That's so funny. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves to be useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press in its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will and not or without highest sucrose nourishment. Yeah, that sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. So... To tell us, said Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Bruno? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances plug the different teeth of the comb as they rotate, making the different notes. First music box is invented uses a rotating cylinder with protuberances in it. Over time, a new player was produced which used discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide all around the globe. Why exactly? The discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. We have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. I see, so that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. As you can hear, no avail. Results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's Hurley for you, always taking things too far. But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. Surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. Huh? Magnus McGilda, not the name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilda perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Supposedly! Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash, not a shred of evidence remained. With the man's death, truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Well, even though we successfully established Mr. McGilda's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker Mr. Thrice Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilda was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Jeannie will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie, there's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner now then. Where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Winterberg said before. He said that he had a manuscript of viruses in a pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale, The Otherworldly Mystery, lies dormant in my store, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story, languishing in Mr. Winterberg's store, gathering dust. Oh, my dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker store is the safest place for it, and more secure than a bank's vault. What about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetus someone not too far from me now. You have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles? I should love to read it. How do you know the title of it? What's going on here? I should chill just up to the room. Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. How could you know the full title? Well, that's... because Mr. Saw is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles has never been published. What? When I showed her the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why I said that he'd keep it safe, until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. The manuscript is at Windibanks, and yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Miss Lestrade. This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. Wait, Miss Lestrade! We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh, yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. Pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. I hope Susanna only read the title and not the whole thing. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What's say to some meddlesome? I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome is... Kitty! Meow. That evening, Iris prepares a meal that was more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violent performance was in no way meddlesome. Gina, as he came to call her, taught us how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. What a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine. I feel as though I could still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something? I wonder. What's the matter, Suzato-san? About the telegram I received. Huh? Wanted to write first thing in the morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. What? Summoned? What do you mean? Telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. Then we have to start preparing at once. No, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. I do not like this. I severely do not like this. I am billions upon billions of percent opposed to this. There is not enough percentage in the universe to say how much no I have an objection. I have... That's where I'm at. What on earth for? I have no idea. I suppose I should find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Yeah, whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Ah, Iris! Hello again. Gina, too! Yes, Ginny is going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh, what in particular? All those things Ginny showed us, wasn't it wonderful? Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think if I wake in a natural town, I could earn a living from it. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. Wait, what? That's mine! But I still have it in my court record. What is this? I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius. So anyway, here. You can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Thank you. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. This is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yes, me too. Ha ha ha. Seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose he probably wants to talk about the manuscript. I suppose she probably does. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh, no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... the story you made up, is it, Iris? This manuscript, or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but... my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Huh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down you see in his diaries, so I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time, so I've never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. I realize I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't gotten any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us. And the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. That's why you're pickpocket? Nah. Darwin's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. That's all you can afford to eat. I'm like, oh, Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. You think about it sometimes. Won't be like that, parents, I mean. Always thought it'd make everything right. I haven't listened to what Iris just said. Sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you always wanting to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. Dang, that was... Iris, is Hound of the Baskerville story? I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts. That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different, somehow, from the other cases, I mean. How? I don't really know, but it must be special in some way, because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, He turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after your toilet over for so long, Iris, but this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say not now. Please, do not ask me. I have to wonder if it's related. I wonder if it's related to something that's still going on. Like, for him to publish the story would to put himself or some other party at risk. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. That's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Yes. Clearly said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat. That does is treating you like a child. It's mean. That's what it is. Keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good. But you can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I'll bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, I reckon you popped that manuscript or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that store was really an old Windibank storeroom, there's no way someone halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Ah. Sorry, Oz, but if you ask me, he sold it without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Crimes are a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced lies, a lot of them. Just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Windibank's. You'd soon see it if you had a look. Even if you think you could trust him, I don't. Some's a lie like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? But I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. Oh, sorry, I thought that was... Well, this has been lovely. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Iris, it sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. Deep down, she is still just a child. Well, I think it's time I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yumi University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. John H. Wilson passing away. Kazuma being sent on some secret mission. What could it all mean? Something with the Lord of Justice is going on. Did John H. Wilson know something? What could he have needed to discover? Mr. Naruhodo. A voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. Speaking to her before she retired, I received a distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. I don't believe the girl's gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. An hour? You'll indulge me. Look out the window, my dear fellow. What is this about? Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's... Oh no. Oh. This is very bad. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no, not really. Anyway, we must investigate at once. Miss Susato? Oh, please don't be dead. The door to Windibank's is open, and the lamp is burning. Must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, there's not a moment to lose. Certainly something is afoot inside. That looks broken. No one here. Oh yes, there is. Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Sholmes! What the? Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo! After them! Go! Blast! I've lost them! Hello, what have we here? Alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot! Policeman close behind me. I ran back to the Windibanks.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo!
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry! It's Gina!
Oh my gosh. I don't think she's dead. I don't think she's dead. I didn't see blood. He's definitely dead. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is insane, dude. What is going on? Mr. McGilded's death definitely stirred something. Holy crap, dude. Do I keep going? Chat, do I keep going? It's a good stopping spot, but I gotta keep going. There's no way I can stop here. I'll be alright, Mr. Naruhodo. There's something at stake. There's a lot at stake. That is crazy. Okay, well, she obviously didn't shoot him. Obviously, the two... Okay, all right. Obviously, she has a gun in her hand and she's unconscious. We have two suspects that are fleeing after shooting Herlock Sholmes. Yeah, I'm sure Gina's the one to do it. What does that mean, Vito? Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, the questioning. Oh, by a child. Okay, I was like, they're not. It was like, wait a second, they're not father and daughter. It was just before dawn, before I was allowed back to my lodgings. It's all good. I was just like, wait, what? Oh my gosh. Iris. Telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home. Yes, we asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Bruno? Oh, she's trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful has happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. Sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning. Oh, I had a feeling. You did? Well, I saw all those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there. When we entered Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of two thugs. They ran out into the street and I chased after them, but they got away. It was one of them who shot old Windibank, I suppose. Well, I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina. Ginny? But why? Well, the thing is... No, Ginny wouldn't do something like that. I know. None of us think she did it. Why, they arrested her. I'm sorry, there was nothing I could do. Where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals. I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning. What? When we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet. Hurley? Was shot? No. It's all right. His life isn't in danger. Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital? He's at St. Sinners. We're tending to him there. I must see him at once. I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't. Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed. No, I mean nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see. To operate? Poor Hurley. It was two thugs who were in Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank. I'm afraid I froze. After them, go! After that, I ran into the street, but they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away. I think that's a very good thing. Sorry. If you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Bruno. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that. Iris. Where's Susie, Bruno? She's still at the police station? Why? I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while. Why aren't you there then? Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. Mrs. Al stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later. I see. Besides, one of us had to come to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. You should have let me know, and I would have come to station. I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they? No, I mean, Mr. Soames isn't dead, Iris. This is so horrible. The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles. The storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well. Oh no. And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me there was no one else in the room. Yes, exactly. How did you know? It's the only explanation. Yes, the only explanation indeed. What do you mean by that, Bruno? Well, what can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. But I can at least try to find out how Mr. Soames and Gina are getting on. I want to go too. Take me with you, Bruno. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. I don't want to leave her all alone here either. All right then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me. Oh yes, I would love to. Gina's at the prison. Mr. Soames is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. All right, game. I will take your hint. "16th of April, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3. Hurley! Oh. He's not here. No, that's strange. Nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she? Oh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad, so he's been sent home. Not so sure about that. Baby or not, there's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Soames suffered. Oh. Hello, hello. What have we here? This war's off limits. No visiting. So what are you doing in here, eh? Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin. Eh? Oh. Well, begging your pardon then, ma'am. Sir. Little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. Great mystery solver as a mysterious family, eh? And if that's how you see us, sure. Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley? I believe he's currently in the operating theater, ma'am. Undergoing an extensive operation. Extensive? It has been several hours since he went in. Oh dear. Is he going to be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is. Oh. I've heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Ah. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that we won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later. Oh, poor Hurley. Oh, wait. Curious if the dude is here. Let's come back here later. Let's go to the prison. Hello, Gina. What? What? There is no way. There is not a chance that they would just allow her to keep a gun in her prison cell. This is bolt to the max. Oh, yeah, the grenade launcher Hurley and I made. I wish you wouldn't point at me all the time, though. What are you here for? Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. Sorry. You get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You'd never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. We got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. If I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I can lay my hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny, I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Sick Cove come by before and he said he'd be a lawyer for me and like said it was my right or something. I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer, I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me anymore, obviously, she tried. Why are you being like this, Ginny? Oh, she's being a pain. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? It want me to sign some papers, representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. Oh, trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me growing up in the back some my whole life. You do what grown-ups tell you, you'll get your mates dragged up by the coppers or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snapped by the back of it. Can't trust no one. That's the point. As soon as you do, you're gone in the grass. Dead. Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could... Forget it. Ginny, don't you trust Bruno? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask it nicely now. Just leave me alone. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night at the pawnbrokers. Nothing to tell. Figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. The old bloke walked in on me, and you know the rest. Why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious the place is full of stuff like itself for a shilling or two? That ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? You sure? The true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest. Won't be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I can say. We'll make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We believe you. Whatever it is. Believe me, don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies? What do you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've been told? Maybe we can help. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh, yeah. Wanted to give you this, something to remember me by. Photographic print of a really adorable cat. Found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. Wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat. That wasn't in there before. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Ginny. That was definitely in the pawn shop and definitely not in the coat pocket before. The Scotland Yard carriage outside Windibanks. Never imagined we'd investigate a case so close to home. Poor Iris. She's very upset by all this. I'm sorry, I was there. I should have done more. None of this is your fault, Bruno. So please, don't apologize. But it's the criminals who are to blame for all this. Let's investigate and work out how to catch them. Yes, you're right. Time for the inspector to get mad at us, I bet. This is where it happened then last night. That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables. But apart from the police in here, you wouldn't know anything that happened. There's no sign of a disturbance. You're right about that, actually. In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking. I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals, all dressed in black. Oh, I heard that! Oh, Inspector. Good morning. Suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mine. I'm sorry about that. I thought you'd assign extra men to the beat around here, Greg Z. Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty. Your ladyship! Oh yeah, I forgot he loves Iris. No one told me you were coming. I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see as the very best medical care. Of course, your ladyship, the very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak. And I don't think it's Runo's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job. Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am, as you say. I love this. The jet in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where are my manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice? Yeah, that's f***ed up a little bit. Oh, why are you thirsty, Greg Z? I have some of my special herbal tea with me, if you like some. Glug, glug, glug. Ah, lovely. Very much. I really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this. Let's talk about the investigation. So how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. Some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night. Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow. Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me. Ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid. Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you? What the? And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you? How could you? How could you possibly know that? Because you just told me, Eggman. Because you just told me, Fox Boy. Why am I never gonna try to keep a secret from Iris? So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison. She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential. Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know. I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all. Oh. The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood. Oh, no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so, but a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding. But he will be all right, won't he? They'll be able to make him better? Of course, your ladyship. He'll be as red as rain before you know it. Really? Oh, how do you know? How do I know? Well, because, of course. Yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. Oh dear, please don't die, Hurley. I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. Couldn't help noticing, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine? Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Watch the sauce, sonny. I'm a copper. We don't go in favoritism. But he's right. You do treat us differently. It's because of those adventures of Herlock Sholmes stories. That's why. Oh? I crop in him, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson. Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. What did you write about the inspector, Iris? I don't remember, really. One of Sholm's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it. Oh, did I write that? And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's amazing. All because everyone at the yard reads them. They all read all of the Herlock Sholm stories. They even set up a fan club for me. Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me. Can't you blame me? All it would take is one bad from you and Sholmes would change his tune about me. Gregson, no, the great detective will say. He is getting quite overrated these days. Think about what happened to my salary that came on for... So he really is Gumshoe. It's just, instead of having salary, his problems with the salary getting cut all the time, he just doesn't want his salary to go down because it's been increased. Whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights I sit and worried about it. That would never happen, Gregsy. Every month when the new Rants magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages. Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves. Glug, glug, glug. Oh, lovely. To very much. That really hit the spot. Your ladyship. Seat. Oh, yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, what is it? I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now. Important message? What could it be? I bet it's Susato. You gonna tell me what this message is, Inspector? Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant. Dear Susie, is she alright? She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe? Nope, not anymore. She had to head off. Head off? Where? To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her. Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that. One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we finished questioning her, but she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard's a blue messaging service. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector. Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me. Better head over to the Lord Chief Justice office to fetch her straight away. Let's examine the crime scene. First off, what's going on over here? All right, then let's see what we can uncover. Boy, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here. Oh, but we were open to investigate. This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching. What's the problem, Gregsy? Bruno's a lawyer. You know that. I'm so sorry, your ladyship. Ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naro is to be properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. The accused? You can show me some representation papers. I'd be happy to let you nose around. Did you hear that, Bruno? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers. Looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. All right, all right. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. Think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal. How so? I mean, look at the suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you? Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust? Yes, thank you very much. Hey, there they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart. Wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious. Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. He's going back? Wait, what did he just say? Return to your homeland? Zao-san? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. What was all that about? Mr. Naruhodo, thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why are we talking about Mrs. Sato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? Tomorrow? What about Jeannie's trial? You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Zato, what's going on? Mr. Zato, what's this all about? Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruto. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as it has. That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving? It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no. Professor Mikotoba? If I may, you must be the defendant. Inosuke Naruhodo, I believe. He's connected to Dr. John H. Wilson. They were friends. Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yumi University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news. 10 days ago, father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker day by day. I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital could take some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Mr. Zato's departure as much as possible. Absolutely. I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. Well, hey Iris, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Jeannie has been charged. She'll have to appear in court. Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago. Date of the trial is set for tomorrow. No, not even 24 hours later? Gina? Ah, the Lestrade girl in the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. In another transpicious case, the pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is without wasting time on these open and shut cases. It's not wasting time. Jeannie would never do something like that. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services today, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave now. Of course, Lord Strongheart. Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. You're one to talk! I bet you're telling the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? And Greg mentioned something like that yesterday. I really hated the McGill. We're gonna find out the truth of this case, get some insight, and then tomorrow, or in the next case, you will know even more. That's my gut feeling. It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. Three minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me. There's just one more thing, Lon Strongheart, which is... It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her. Timely suggestion. Sorry. Girl currently has no representation, but that's not fair. She may be pickpocketed, but she still deserves a fair trial. Did I misunderstand me, young lady? The government provides for those who court afford a representation with a public defender. The accused need only to sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would you do that? A question you would do well to direct to Mrs. Strahd. Find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charged with murder. Suzawa-san about to leave? Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. I disagree. Suzato, no, your well-being matters too, Suzato. Thank you, Miss Suzato. Very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. That sounds like a good idea. Let's go. I'm honest, because it's completely throwing me off. Just have to do what I can as a lawyer. Ah, hello again, Gina. What are you not here for now? Yeah, the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously. I think I need to improve the way you load the ammunition to that thing, don't I? Look. Come as many times as you like. I ain't got nothing more to say to you. Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say. What? Sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Huh? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet as things stand now... It will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. Somehow you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them. Yeah, that's right. I can't. What of it? It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you. What? It's my fault? Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you. Eh? Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be. What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh? You told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths. What about you? What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted? The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I was never on the omnibus. I lied. I like it like you wouldn't believe. You were never on the omnibus. Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. Coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. Based on your testimony, Mr. McGilder was declared innocent. Yeah, well, thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of things did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. Oh, okay. Oh. It was pitch black in that little cubby hole. I couldn't see a thing. And then... thud. I heard that loud thud like someone falling on the floor. That's when Mr. McGill discovered you? Yeah. Pulled me out from under the seat and set me next to the dead man. They're very much like to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had the co's blood all over them. I was so scared I couldn't even speak. Yeah, there's blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that had the witness. It was Gina that the witnesses. Yeah, we knew that. Mr. McGilda started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did. Only. That's not all. What do you mean? I mean, he threatened me. Threatened you how? He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard. what was going to do after the code was found dead. I swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. But the day he said he'd let me scuff it before the copper showed up. Oh, okay. Peanut, you must tell me what he swore to you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. You said Mr. McGill made you swear not to tell anyone what you saw. You were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Mr. McGill is sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor that I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. Mr. McGill heard that and dragged me out of me by arm, that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer where I had been stabbed. A disc. All bright and shiny. A disc? You don't mean... That's it, the one what the D took off me at Windibanks. The music box disc was there on the floor on the omnibus. Not for long, Mr. McGill spotted it straight away. Picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside the pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. Fogtrotter told me I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Oh my gosh. So the question is, who had the disc? Did it fall after the murder happened? Because it was so dark under the seat in the cab, I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably that was Mr. McGill getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh? I could never make out the footsteps of 2 people. 2 people? In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGill and the victim, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGill claimed he slept during the carriage ride. So what probably happened is they walked on together, and your own testimony, Gina, supported this. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. That still tells us something. Mr. McGill and the victim knew each other. McGill was lying, as I suspected. I knew we weren't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, Mr. McGill told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. 2 cops from up top got off and ran to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right. After they're gone, Mr. McGill asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella, what I needed to do is take this coat, Mont, and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give you 10 guineas. Wow, but the driver did it? Oh my gosh, dude. No way. Yep, you got it. It was Windibanks. Coach, you snapped up the money and ran out to pop this coat as fast as you could. Then there was no one left in the carriage. Mr. McGill opened the box under the seat and let me get out of here. But not without conditions. Let me see. So that means the one dude potted the coat with the discs, apparently plural discs in them, to hide them. Wow. There must be something incredibly important on that. What were Mr. McGillet's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything, not about what I saw, about what I heard, and there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me. Some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye. Fiend's taking me over, could deposit in the pawnbroker whereabouts, and I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. You understand? Well, you want me to have the ticket? That's right, and I'll come fetch it from you later, sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it till then. Is that clear? Whatever you do, don't lose it. This staff is eerily similar to the one that the one gentleman had. And in case it might happen to be delayed at all, you're gonna go to the pawn shop, win the bank, so it is, and you need to extend the loan of 4 to 2 months is up. Don't forget, the article will be forwarded, and any old fiend can come along and buy it. But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. We understand each other, lass. Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me, yeah, I get it. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. Poppers, aye, they'll come asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. Let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it you might say, and what is it that you won't? After you gone all, I piked it, got as far from there as I could. Hey, did the bro pawnbroker was chicken some bushes near the scene. Went to fetch it the next day once it got dark, so Mr. McGill had planned it. And of course, Gina gave him false testimony. And yet she still wanted to get the ticket despite him dying. Hey, you ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom. I told some cocas. Thing is, he said he would make it so he couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. Mr. McGilly would have, in a heartbeat, you could have had a lot of us chased out of there if you wanted. And then we would have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. What? I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. You can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. Huh? If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork, or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Soames was shot, you see. You what? Curly's having a big operation right now, Jeannie. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Soames is gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Soames' sake as much as anything. Right? So what you're saying is, if I sign the bit of paper, everyone's happy. Is that it? Something like that. Miss Susato? Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. Hi. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No liar or nothing. Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely. Well, I just mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now. Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there. Let's do it! I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have representation papers? No one else knows what it's just a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. What happened at Windibanks? Gina's really in a pickle. But she won't even admit that she didn't do it. She just believes you won't believe her. Can we find evidence to support that Gina is innocent? What about those thugs? We saw some suspicious looking outlines. I hope Holmes is okay. Hopefully everything is going all right there. Or Sholmes. I just said Holmes. My bad. I should feel like I would get that right by now. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait until next time on Great Ace Attorney. 1, episode 5. Thank you guys so much for watching the episode. I hope you enjoyed it and have a fantastic rest of your night.